You don't need to pretend that your physical, logical mind has all the answers all the time. And you also do not need to despair that you don't know anything. Instead, find the happy medium and recognize that you will know what you need to know when you need to know it. You don't need information that you don't need, and so relaxing and trusting, having patience and faith become a big part of this journey. Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm your host, Brian Scott, and today I'm reading some profound channelings. These are from Thymus, the Collective of Ascended Masters, channeled by Daniel Scranton. You can find these on his website at danielscranton.com. Thymus is similar to the Creators and the Arcturian Council. They focus on specific teachings that relate to reality creation and our shift into the new earth. We have several episodes now where I've got to share some of the teachings of Thymus, and this one has some really interesting topics, including what are the Ascended Masters sending you right now? All you need to know is here, becoming an awakened master, the spiritual gift you all have but a few of you use. Why would you choose to be born on earth? The days of instant manifestation are coming. What the Ascended Masters are sending you right now. Blessings. We are Thymus. We are the Collective of Ascended Masters. We are sending you love and light, healing and compassion, and you may experience what we are sending you as a feeling, but you may also experience it as a thought or as an impulse to take an action. In other words, you make your interpretation of what you receive from the higher realms all the time. And this does, of course, include your own higher selves and oversouls. You are receiving that which is higher frequency, that which is all about love, that which will enhance your life experience there on earth. But you may not recognize it as something that you have received. Once you do recognize that you are receiving from the higher realms, and you are receiving the messages, information, healing, compassion, and so on, you will then start to look for it. You may even start to open up yourselves to it. You may not get what you were expecting. You may not get what you were asking for because you need the stepping stone first to get you to what you've been asking for. But you can expect that everything that you are receiving is about taking you further along on your journey towards becoming your fifth dimensional self. You're always going to get what you need, and that may take you to what you want, but it may also take you to something that's even better than what you decided that you wanted. So again, it is important for you to recognize this so that you can open up more and receive more. You've all got the asking part down, and some of you recognize that you have helpers in higher dimensional planes, and that also is a big positive step for all of you. But the receiving part is something that many of you still need to work on. Some of you receive what you've been asking for and what you need while you are taking a shower or spending time in nature, or playing with your dog or petting your cat, because in those moments you are relaxing and you are opening up to what has been given to you. Again, you don't have to keep asking. You don't have to ask in just the right way, but you do want to expect that what you have asked for is coming, and you do want to expect that it's coming in the perfect timing and in the perfect way. So this is why you are told by many teachers, including the likes of us, to let go. You want to let go of a lot of things. You want to let go of resistance to the current reality you're experiencing. You want to let go of control. You want to let go of specifics. And you want to relax, surrender, and be open so that you can receive what is even better than what you have become attached to. Don't worry about not receiving what you have asked for. That is something else that you have to train yourselves to do. You have to pay closer attention to what your thoughts are, what your beliefs are, so that you can open up more to what is already coming. And if you can convince yourself that you have asked for is already coming, then you can accelerate the timing of it arriving to you. But we really encourage you not to even think about that, and instead just live your lives. Enjoy what you can about the life that you are living. while holding that knowing that things will always get better for you. They always do, because you are an ever-evolving being of light and love, and you are ascending no matter how it might look at times to you. Remember all of these things, and you can live a life of pure freedom, joy, creativity, and abundance. That is all for now. We are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters, and we are always amongst you. All you need to know is here. Blessings, we are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters. We endeavor to awaken within you more of the knowledge and the wisdom that lies dormant within you. You do not only access wisdom and knowledge through the learning from books, videos, and other people. You access all that you need by recognizing that it is within you and then seeking it out. When you are being given a high-frequency energy transmission such as this one, you are more likely to access what has been buried deep down inside of you. You may even attribute that new knowledge or wisdom to us, but we deserve not one iota of credit for it. It is within you, and it is you, and we are the facilitators. We are the ones who inspire, but we also want you to recognize yourselves as the ones who contain everything that you need inside of you. So what do you need to know then? You need to know who you really are, and you need to know what everything is within you. You sometimes feel lost in this world, in this sea of possibilities. You sometimes feel confused about what you are to do next, what direction to take in your lives. Our recommendation is that when you are at one of those crossroads, you simply close your eyes, relax, breathe, and wait. The waiting is the hardest part, because in the waiting, doubt can creep in. When doubt creeps in, it is like going back to the belief that says that you don't have all the answers inside of you. And maybe you should consult someone else. Maybe you need to ask another human being for their opinion on your life. But that can ultimately confuse your mind. And what you want is less confusion. That is why it's so important to shut off your mind for a while and let yourself receive the wisdom and the knowledge, the intuitive hit that you are getting from within. Let it rise to the surface. If nothing happens, and you've sat for 15, 30, or even 45 minutes, do not despair. Do not then assume that you just wasted your time. You did not waste your time. You meditated and you affirmed your belief in yourself and in what is contained within you. You don't need to pretend that your physical, logical mind has all the answers all the time. And you also do not need to despair that you don't know anything. Instead, find the happy medium and recognize that you will know what you need to know when you need to know it. You don't need information that you don't need, and so relaxing and trusting, having patience and faith become a big part of this journey for all of you at one time or another. And the patience, one knows that what they need will rise up to the surface. It is a show of faith. It is a belief in the self, the true self, the whole self, and you do not need to go back into doubt, as though doubt has all the answers. Remember that the next time you start to feel yourself sliding back into that idea, that the answers must be obtained by going to some source outside of you. Listen to your hearts and your feelings. Determine for yourselves whether something resonates with you, the real you, and trust that what you haven't unlocked yet within you will be unlocked, and it will most likely be because you did nothing but focus on something that is putting you in a higher vibrational state. That is all for now. We are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters, and we are always amongst you. Become an awakened master. Blessings. We are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters. We welcome you to our realm. We invite you to come here and join us where the frequencies are very high. We know that you can do this if you really want to. We know that you will have the capacity to bring yourselves into a higher vibrational state, and we know that from time to time, all of you do. When you recognize how easy it is to make yourself feel better, and you still choose not to do so, then you have to ask yourselves, why? Why would you want to stay in a lower vibrational state? What are you getting out of being angry for so long, being filled with so much resentment, so much hate? If you can discover the answers to those questions, then you will be able to move past doing it over and over again. Once you see the folly of your ways, it becomes harder for you to continue, to engage in those behaviors, in those mental gymnastics. You all know that you want to feel good, and in fact, most of the time when you feel bad, it's because you think something else or someone else is getting in the way of you feeling good. And so let that sink in for a moment. You will deliberately feel bad because you think that you cannot feel good. And you are using someone or something as your excuse for not feeling the way you want to feel. As you sit and take this message in right now, ask yourself if it is possible for you to feel peace within yourself right now. Ask yourself if it is possible for you to feel joy. And ask yourself if it is possible for you to feel love. When you start living your life as an awakened master, you recognize that you always have a choice. You can choose how you want to feel, and you can activate the feeling within you, or you can continue to stay attached to your life being a certain way, and then you can have your knee-jerk reactions to when it is not the way you want it to be. Again, maybe there is some benefit that you are deriving out of being angry, being filled with resentment, being filled with resistance, and you need to discover what those reasons are. You need to discover why you think it's better to stay angry. The answer might surprise you. Maybe you feel safe when you're in anger because you don't feel as vulnerable, as capable of being hurt by someone else. Once you discover that, and you work with it, and you release what you need to release, then you can let go of anger. You don't have to use it as a weapon. You don't have to choose it to protect yourself. And again, you can join us here in the Ascended Master Realm, where the water is always warm and the weather is always perfect, and everyone is always smiling and laughing and dancing and playing. That is how existence really is. And remember, you chose to go into a lower vibrational state, to incarnate on a world and in a dimension where you would be able to experience certain emotions, where you would have certain experiences that you could only have there in that particular dreamlike illusion. When you wake up to the truth of who you really are, then you can stop playing that game, and you can start playing the very much better feeling game of knowing who you are, being who you are, behaving as though you are a source energy being, and letting everyone else off the hook. You don't have to morph your world into the version of it that you think it needs to be in order for you to be happy and filled with peace and love. You only ever have to morph yourself, and it's much easier. It takes much less time, much less effort, and you don't have to get anyone else to behave as you want them to behave. Keep making conscious choices and examining why you are making unconscious choices, and you can live as an ascended master does and still be in your physical body on the fourth dimensional earth. And you can show others the way as well, through your words, and even more powerfully through your example. And that is why you incarnated there at this time. You wanted to have the experience of making conscious choices and helping others to do the same. That is all for now. We are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters, and we are always amongst you. The spiritual gift you all have but few use. Blessings. We are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters. We have really only one agenda for humanity. We desire for you to know yourselves as you truly are. That is what will ultimately empower you so that you make your own direct connections to your higher selves, your spirit guides, all of us who exist in the ascended master realm, the archangels, your ET family members, and so on. We also know that you are empowered when you check in with yourselves and your own feelings and emotions. We know that you are getting impulses, intuitive hits, inspired ideas, and all kind of nudges from within. If we can guide you to be quiet, to be without thought, to be heart-centered, to be present, then we know we have done our jobs. We also know that you like to hear about our perspective on things, and we know that you like to receive the energetic transmissions that we provide. And so we will always be available to you as a point of view, as a perspective that you can then resonate with or not. We do want you to recognize yourselves as masters right now, and we want you to realize that you are masterful when you allow yourselves to trust what is coming to you all the time. When you trust in yourselves and in what you are downloading, what you are receiving, you can make decisions from moment to moment that will serve you. For example, many of you wonder what it is you should eat, what it is you should not eat, and what it is you should eat more of, and what it is you should eat less of. You have that kind of guidance coming to you all day, every day. You just need to tune in and ask your body what it is wanting. It will always tell you. You need to trust the messages that you are getting and follow through with them. You don't need to go on some sort of strict eating regimen in order to be healthy or more spiritual. You can do that if you want to, if it pleases you to, but it's not mandatory. You have guidance coming to you all day, every day about what activities to partake in next. You get inspired thoughts and ideas all the time, and if you can trust what you are getting, you can live lives of freedom, creativity, peace, joy, love, and abundance. You don't need any outside source to tell you what to do or what to think. You are there exploring your world and all the options, all the opportunities, and you are meant to follow what feels right to you in the moment. Be aware that each and every one of you has a spiritual gift. You have the gift of your feelings, and they are there to guide you at all times, regardless of what you might think is true in any given moment. We are not saying that you should dismiss or devalue the mind, but let the mind do its job and follow your feelings, and know that your guidance that's coming to you from within is a gift, and it is a way for you to move forward confidently in your lives in each moment of each day. That is all for now. We are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters, and we are always amongst you. Why would you choose to be born on Earth? Blessings. We are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters. We know you intimately well, which means that we know who you really are, and we hold that space for you. We also understand that you were born into a reality where there were lots of energies, thoughts, and emotions floating around you, some of which stuck to you, and at times you operate from those thought forms, those energies, those emotional states of being that do not represent who and what you really are. And so when you feel embarrassed or ashamed about something that you have done, said, or thought, please recognize that you were born into a soup of all those choices, and some of those choices were made to seem alluring to you so that you would make the lower vibrational choice. Now, why would you subject yourselves to the possibility of doing something or saying something that would be lower vibrational in nature, that might hurt someone else's feelings or hurt them physically? When you have those experiences, you get to feel the feelings that come up for you and then make informed and deliberate choices as a result. You get to feel how awful it feels to not be who you really are, to not operate from that level of consciousness. And then by having these very terrible feelings, you get to make a conscious and deliberate choice to move towards who and what you really are. And isn't that what this is all about? We are going home, and we are all going home together, and it's so much better to make that choice to go home than it is just to be sucked into the light by a force that is greater than your free will. We know, and your souls and higher selves know, that you will all make the choice to go to the light and go home, and all the various circuitous paths that you take before going to the light add something to all of reality that could only be added by you making that mistake, that misstep, speaking those words that hurt someone else's feelings. So knowing that now, perhaps it will be easier for you to forgive yourselves, to let go of the shame and the embarrassment, the self-recrimination, the self-hatred. And if you can let go of those things consciously and deliberately by choice, you get to then feel the relief that comes from letting go of that darkness, that heaviness, and of course, in making the better feeling choices, you get to feel what it feels like physically, to have your whole body lighting up and saying yes to that choice, yes to that thought, yes to that action. Know that you are meant to be works in progress. You were meant to get covered in mud so that you could feel the joy and relief of taking that hot shower under high-pressure water. That's what this is all about. It's about the climb. It's about the movement. It was never about being born into a body and onto a planet so that you could be perfect in every way. Once you start making those choices to move towards the light, of course you're going to appear as a leader and a teacher to others. And it will be good for them to know, for you to be transparent about the fact that you are not perfect, that you are not complete, and that the work continues for you. We all can let each other off the hook first, and that will make it easier for each individual to let themselves off the hook, to be at peace with where they are and who they are. And it is through that coming to a place of peace that you get to move on to the next level of your ascension. That is all for now. We are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters, and we are always amongst you. The days of instant manifestation are coming. Blessings. We are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters. You are all on a journey that is about changing, transforming, becoming. It is a journey that is not about going to different places and taking the same old you with you to that new place. Some people do have that idea about ascension. They think that if you put them in a better place, then they will be happier. If you put some people somewhere else who are bringing us all down and put all the good ones over here in the fifth dimension and on this earth, then all the problems will be solved in their minds. However, when you recognize that shifting to a new level of consciousness, a new earth, is about changing you, then you are on the right track. Then you understand why you are here. You are there to experience that change within the self first. And that is why a spaceship doesn't just land and take you who are ready to ascend all the way to the better earth. You are in the process of co-creating the new experience of life on earth. It will be a continuation of this experience, a betterment of the tools that you have to work with. You are honing and shaping your own skills and abilities right now through the evolution of your consciousness. And that is something that you engage in, whether you know it or not. Every single day you are giving yourselves an opportunity to see something or someone differently. You present yourselves with another opportunity to change the way you think and feel about that situation. That nagging problem that keeps coming up for you over and over again. You give yourselves opportunity after opportunity to grow and to become, not to stagnate and wait. You are the change makers, and the change starts with you. Now we know that many of you already know this, and we also are telling you this again because it is possible for you to begin to see the power and the impact of those changes you make within yourselves. It is now possible for you to experience the ripple effect and the boomerang effect that has always been in place but hasn't always moved as quickly. You can experience massive changes within your own life, within your own community, within your country, and within your world, because you're shifting so rapidly now, and you're jumping timelines, and you don't have to fix a broken planet or mend all of your wounds to get to the new place. But from where you are sitting right now, you can offer a high vibrational thought, a feeling and intention, even a desire that puts you on that timeline to experience more of that reality that you would like to see in the here and now. Maybe you'll have to wait till tomorrow or next week, but not an entire lifetime or even decades. Those days are long gone. And the days of instant manifestation are coming. You're moving towards that realm, and you make your way to that realm by being more attentive to the thoughts and feelings you are offering. Stay aware, while also being kind, gentle, and patient with yourselves, because even if you notice yourself going back down a track you've been down several times before, that can be so quickly undone with the next thought that you offer, with the next intention that you hold, and with the next feeling that bubbles up within you. That is all for now. We are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters, and we are always amongst you. Why so many souls want to be on earth now? Blessings. We are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters. We know you as you really are, and we know ourselves as we really are. Those two aspects of who we really are attract you to us. You like that we see the divinity in you, and that we exemplify what the divine is to you. You know that you're evolving and expanding when it is your utmost desire to know yourself as the divine. Once you realize that everything else is just pointing you to the divinity that is within you, you can relax a bit on whether you get that house, that mate, that job, or take that vacation to a tropical paradise. All of those experiences are there to point you to the source, to the divine within you. And they are lovely. And you are meant to have all those experiences because they help source to expand. They help us all to become more of what we truly are as divine, unconditional love. We know that the path to knowing yourself as the divine is often a windy one, a long one, and one that is filled with obstacles, potholes, and even explosives. And we want you to know that deep down inside, you like that. You like that you get to have those experiences as well because you understand that they help you to define more clearly what you want and who you want to be. And so even though at times it seems like just being on easy street is the way to go, please recognize that you will always create more challenges for yourselves because you like discovering who you really are deep down inside by facing some more of what you are not. You are not limited. You're not poor. You are not unskilled. You are not alone. You are not ugly. You are not any of the things that you may have accused yourselves as in the past. And each of those experiences of thinking that you were one of those things helped you in ways you cannot possibly imagine. That's why this journey through the illusion is so sought after. So many souls want to be there at this time. They are lining up, in fact, to be there. And we are not saying that you all are taking it for granted, but we do want you to make peace with the tough challenges that you have in your lives right now. And we also seek to convince you that your job is not to hide from those challenges and not to eliminate them, but rather you are there to confront them and grow through them. You are there to enjoy the experience of the solution, of getting something that you wanted that seemed like it was out of reach until you had the brilliant idea that just came to you while you were in the shower or on a long walk. You get to have those experiences because life on earth is challenging. It is there to get the best out of you. And while you think some of us in this collective made it look easy, trust us, it wasn't. We enjoyed the challenges as well, and we want you to know that from where we are sitting now, we can see it was all worth it. We would like for you to join us in that perspective on every hardship in your lives. It was perfect, and it is perfect, and you are perfect, and you are there to become aware of the perfection that you are experientially. Experience is your friend. All experiences, embrace them, and know that they are there to be your teachers and your opportunities to become more of who and what you really are. That is all for now. We are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters, and we are always amongst you. Where you are on your journey on earth. Blessings. We are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters. We know that you are on a journey of many steps there in this lifetime on earth. And we want to remind you that the steps that you take will not always make sense to your logical minds. We also are here to remind you that every step is bringing you closer to home, closer to source, no matter how it might look to you in the moment. You may be having an experience that is seemingly taking you further from your goals for yourself in this lifetime. But you don't always know where the path is leading you, and so you cannot even say with certainty that you are getting further from your intended destination. We tell you this because we want you to see beyond what you can at times perceive with your mental bodies and your physical eyes. We want you at times to be able to tune in to the bigger picture and trust there's a bigger picture, that there is a plan. And even though you are conscious creator beings as awakened earthlings, you also still must trust that you are moving in the right direction when it seems like you're not. You are there to create, but not to control. And ultimately what you are creating is an experience of self that goes beyond what you've known yourself to be. And everything contributes to that, but it can be hard to see how it's contributing in a positive way. Therefore, again, trust comes. In faith is necessary, and often patience is required. When you can teach yourself how to relax, how to stay calm in any and all situations that you might find yourselves in, then it becomes clear to you where the path you are on is headed. You don't have to micromanage. You don't have to try to control other people. You don't have to make sure you have all of your safeguards in place for each step forward. When you develop that trust and that faith, when you have that patience in the process and in the journey, and what makes all of this easier is the truth that there is always something that you can enjoy along the way. But you have to use your power to find the joy. You sometimes have to dig deep within yourself to be able to be joyous in the situation that doesn't naturally evoke joy from you. And when you prove that you can do that, then you know that you can create more joy for yourself under any and all circumstances. You want ultimately to boost your confidence in your ability to make the most out of any situation. Because if you can make the most out of any situation, then you know that you can create any situation to be what you want it to be. You have to work with what is in front of you, and sometimes what's in front of you isn't what you thought you wanted, but it will always be what you need. And when you can recognize that, it's a lot easier to make peace with what is and to allow in what is more than what is. There will always be more coming and more that you are headed towards. And when you can remind yourselves of that while on one of these tricky journeys that you're on, it becomes easier for you to live in peace, joy, love, freedom, excitement, and creativity. These are the experiences you ultimately want, even if you find yourself momentarily attached to one particular outcome of an event. The more you can let go of those attachments and go with the flow, the more you will find yourselves skipping down the path, no matter where you are currently on your journey. That is all for now. We are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters, and we are always amongst you. So let's take a moment to really digest what we've just received from Thymus, the collective of ascended masters. There are some truly profound concepts here that I want to highlight because they offer practical wisdom we can apply right now in our daily lives. One of the most empowering messages here is that we're not just receivers of divine wisdom, we are the wisdom. Thymus keeps emphasizing that everything we need is already within us. They're not giving us new information, they're awakening what's dormant inside of us. When you get an intuitive hit or a sudden knowing, you might think it's coming from your guides or higher realms, but Thymus is saying, no, that's you. We're just facilitators helping you access your own inner database of infinite knowledge. This completely shifts how we approach spiritual guidance, doesn't it? Instead of constantly looking outside of ourselves for answers, we can recognize that meditation, quiet time, and inner reflection are actually methods of accessing our own divine wisdom. Thymus calls our feelings a spiritual gift, and they say it's one that most of us aren't fully utilizing. They're not talking about emotions like anger or sadness, but that deeper feeling sense, that gut knowing, that inner yes or no. They gave a perfect example with food. Instead of following strict dietary rules or the latest spiritual eating trend, they're saying just ask your body what it wants. Your body has its own intelligence that knows exactly what it needs in each moment. Your feelings are a guidance system that operates 24/7. The challenge is that we've been trained to override these feelings with logic, with what we should do, with what others expect. Another thing that might blow your mind from this, Thymus suggests that we actually like challenges on a soul level. We're not here despite the difficulties. We're here because of them. They use the beautiful metaphor, we chose to get covered in mud so that we could experience the joy of that hot shower. The contrast, the journey from challenge to solution, from limitation to expansion, that's the whole point. This explains why so many souls want to incarnate on Earth right now. According to them, it's not in spite of chaos and challenges. It's because this is where the greatest growth happens. Earth is like the advanced training ground for souls. When you understand this, suddenly your problems aren't punishments or signs. you're doing something wrong. They're opportunities you chose to help you discover more of who you really are. One of the most exciting revelations is about the speed of manifestation. Thymus says the days of waiting decades or lifetimes for our manifestations are over. We are moving into a time of much faster, even instant manifestation. And the key is that this isn't about some external force making things happen faster. It's about us becoming more aware of our thoughts and feelings, more deliberate in our focus as we evolve in consciousness. The gap between thought and manifestation naturally shrinks. They're saying you might have to wait until tomorrow or next week instead of years. That's a massive shift. And it's happening because we're jumping timelines more fluidly. We're more aware of our creative power. Perhaps the most challenging yet liberating message is about trust. Thymus reminds us that every step is taking us closer to Source, even when it looks like we're going backwards. They're asking us to develop a radical trust that there's always a bigger picture, even when our logical minds can't see it. We might lose that job, that relationship might end, that plan might fall through. But what if that seeming setback is actually a setup for something even better? This isn't toxic positivity or spiritual bypassing. It's about recognizing that we can't always see the whole path from where we're standing. Sometimes what looks like a detour is actually a shortcut to where we really want to be. What strikes me most about these messages from Thymus is how they empower us while also asking us to surrender. We're powerful creators and we're part of a larger flow. We have all the answers within and we benefit from connecting with higher dimensions. It's good to let go. It's good to focus. This isn't about choosing between being human or being divine. It's about recognizing we're both simultaneously in every moment, every challenge, every joy, every ordinary Tuesday afternoon. It's all part of this incredible journey of consciousness, discovering itself through us. Remember what Thymus said. They see us as we really are. And what we really are is divine beings having a temporary human experience. Not to suffer through it, but to expand through it, to create through it, to discover the joy of finding our light, especially when we're covered in mud. I would love to hear your thoughts on these messages. Which insights resonated most with you? Have you had experiences where your feelings guided you perfectly, or where a seeming setback led to something better? Share in the comments below, and if this resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you want more channelings, I can read more. I'll be sharing more, if you want them, about how we can apply these higher dimensional teachings in our daily lives. And until next time, remember, you have access to all the wisdom of the universe within you. There is nothing else that you need but yourself. Thank you for joining me in exploring these profound teachings from Thymus. I'm sending you so much love and light on your path. You can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at therealityrevolution.com. And welcome to The Reality Revolution.